How a relay race is linked to delegation. Stay with me to find out. Last week we spoke how celebration can bring more motivation and engagement from your team. This week we're going to speak about another very important tool for leadership, delegation and empowerment.
We ended the year talking about celebration and its importance in motivating and engaging the team. When we recognize the victories, the team feels part of the whole and sees the importance given to their efforts by the leadership. In this video, I'll cover two very important tools for leadership. I'll talk about delegation and empowerment. These themes may appear to be the same thing, but there are some differences that I'll talk about later on. There is a resource that is common to all of us, and it is something that we have to maximize due to its scarcity: time. When we think of a team, the leader has responsibility for activities, people, for a department, or for one or several companies. Having to report for this great number of responsibilities, it is unthinkable that that leader has the possibility to do them all alone. So, how to maximize this leader time for all of these activities? Some possibilities include the use of delegation and empowerment tools. When used these techniques, the leader can count on his team members to carry out activities for which he is responsible for. In addition, it is practically impossible for a leader, especially the leader in a higher position, to have the knowledge and the ability to execute everything his company or his department needs. In one of Leandership videos, we presented the Eisenhower Matrix. One of its quadrants, important but not urgent, we suggested delegation technique to be adopted. Conceptually, delegating is to distribute the task to a trained employee to perform it properly. It is very important that the leader is aware that the responsibility of that matter, of that task, is still his or hers, but the execution is being outsourced. In this aspect, it is essential that the delegated employee has all the skills, all the necessary abilities and knowledge to perform that task. And if not, it will be necessary that the leader provides adequate training. And what about empowerment? In this case, is giving power, in the sense of authority, to one or more team members for decision making, giving more responsibility and autonomy for decisions. It is an excellent tool to decentralize the decision-making process. It is generally used for teams with a greater maturity. On a relay race, for example, we can clearly see empowerment when a racer passes the baton to the other, sharing the responsibility for making the best time. Empowerment or delegation bring benefits to leaders and followers, such as greater development and engagement of the team when they feel owners of responsibilities and activities. More time for the leader to carry out management and leadership activities. Development of new leaders. Improves decision-making process for the whole team and develops proactivity. Some tips also can be useful in this process. I'll list 5 tips for you. First one, develop and share the vision of the business. If the team has the same vision, employees will have the same concerns and priorities. Tip number 2, communicate frequently and transparently. Communicating the strategy, decisions and directions of the company or department will lead the team to feel important in knowing this information and even more in contributing more actively in that decision. Tip number 3, give the team a voice. Listen with interest to the opinion of the employees. Which solution might arise in this process? Tip number 4, do not condemn possible mistakes. They are part of the learning process and maturing the team when it comes to decision making. And tip number 5, encourage and provide feedback. Feedback will set the course of decisions and actions. There's also a Leandership video about feedback. You can find the link in the video description below. Do not be surprised if in this process you find new potential successors and leaders who may even be candidates for positions outside your area. It is a very natural path, and you certainly have played a fundamental role in this evolution by giving autonomy, responsibility, and mainly motivation. Now that you know the advantages and have some tips for delegating and empowering your team, make an excellent use of these tools to develop other aspects that eventually you had no time to think or act before. What do you think about that?
Have you noticed the importance of delegation and empowerment for a leader? Next week I'll be back with more leadership content made especially for you. Don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up. See you next week.